I feel like you and I have not connected in like many weeks.
Yeah, last time I was down here, there was no table.
I know. Why are you putting your
It's a
feet on
footrest.
my table?
It's not smooth, so if I put a drink, it'll fall.
It's
like walking on pebbles. It's nice.
Do you know how much I spent on this table? Please take your feet
cleaning
off of my table.
I'm cleaning it. Okay, I sit like this.
Okay, that's fine. As long as you don't put your feet on my pebble table.
How come when you sing, you don't sing things like that moment I just sang?
Like what?
Like, how did Bon Jovi write that part?
I don't know.
When you write words and you sing the words.
Yeah.
How do musicians write the part?
I don't know.
You need that in your repertoire.
I do.
Like, think of Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
How does she write for the other people in her head who sing?
I don't know, but there's like a lot of people in her head.
Yeah. So how does she write for them?
I think she has also
They're like
support.
Maria, Mariah, Marie, Mara, Mariu. Mariu sings. Like, oh, this would be a good spot for Mariu. Why don't you just name the people in your head? Make them all singers.
You know, I've named the personalities also in my head.
No, tell me.
I have named them, like the angry one.
Who is angry? What does she say?
I'm not telling you because
is that
then
the
you're
one in the morning
use it
who just like comes out in the morning for breakfast? The pre-coffee one?
If I tell you the names of the
Her
personalities in my
Decafina.
head, you're going to use them against you. You're going to be like, oh, I know this
Oh,
one's
here she
Lorena.
comes. Here comes Decafina. We do that anyways. We just don't have names for it.
I
So
know.
maybe it'll be better to have names.
I refuse to tell you the names of the people because they bring me peace and joy.
So how do they sing? That was the question.
Yeah, that I have to give them voices.
So what's you sing that song I'm singing now.
Whoa.
Yeah, how did he write that?
I don't know. Maybe it was a spur of the
Do
moment.
they have to
thing.
record it?
I think it all happens. It comes out in recording. You know, when you're doing a recording session, sometimes the most magical things happen and it's people working together. I've been in sessions where I have an idea and then someone's like, ooh, I like that. Try this also after this. And then someone's like, ooh, I like that. And try this instead. And then you come out with these amazing like little riffs.
That's nice.
Yeah.
But if you're sitting on your own
Yeah.
and you hear it in your head and you're like, I want...
I don't know.
Do you
I've
write it
never
or you
done
do
that.
voice notes?
Oh yeah, I would do a voice note. If it was just
So
like a
that's
melody,
the question.
I would just do a voice note.
Because you can't write it out.
I mean, you could write it musically.
Oh. So how would you write?
I would just record a voice note for that.
But how would you write it if you had to?
I would pull out staff paper and I would write it out with the notes.
But what note is it?
I don't know. I don't have perfect pitch.
Yeah, so what do you do then? You need like a stick and a metal thing to ding and then say it, then
No, I would sit at the piano and I would find and then I would write it out and notate it.
What if you're on a bus?
Then I would record a voice note.
But all you have is staff paper and a pencil, no phone.
Then I would just pretend like, do that's C, and then I would work from there.
Yeah, so you'd still get it.
Yes.
You may have to shift it a little.
Exactly.
You'd have to capo it, but you'd still preserve it.
Did you just throw in a capo?
Isn't that what it does?
Capos are only for guitars.
But it still works.
Okay. Welcome back.
Who's the one that fights for no reason? What's her name?
I'm not fighting.
Like, you understood what I said? Yes. But I don't like that you use that word that way. I will pause here. On that note, putting my feet back on the table, because that's how it's going to be today. I also noticed you have this nice fancy thing for you.
What fancy
It's
thing?
like stone tables and other tables and candles and all these nice things. And when you look in my background, there's a broken chair, a box, a cell phone. There's a, I don't know what, cutlery on this wall. There's a black outlet in a white room. All in this. Oh! You could see that the room, you just stopped painting halfway. The back of the room is brown, and here you can see what she's done.
You're not supposed
just only
to
painted this fancy side. But this is life, people.
We're still working.
We just sit here, and you see the boxes on the back. You see the broken chairs.
I'm still working on it. We haven't had a weekend to like take all this stuff to the recycling center. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Sheena Interrupted. No, it's not done.
We talk so much.
You didn't
Can it
even
be
let
the
me
catch-up
start
episode?
The show.
I sang.
I know.
You sang. What? This is it. We're done. We finished
We're
today.
not. We're nowhere near
Quick
done.
episode today, people.
Okay.
We're giving you back 25 minutes of your time. Please listen to this melody now.
You want 25 minutes of your day back? That's why you're giving it back to them?
What if we just did an episode where we counted harmoniously?
No.
I would listen.
To somebody counting?
Yeah, it could be the sleep episode.
Absolutely
you go.
not.
Let's see if we can find a nice rhythm.
1,
2. Don't stop. Go. Let's get at least to like 4,000 or 5,000. Go.
We're gonna lose listeners.
No way. We just got more. They're like, hey, listen to this. We're counting together. Okay, we'll leave a break for them. They'll be the 3. Okay, go.
Can you end the episode?
No. This is such prime content. No one's doing this now. Counting with your listeners? Are you kidding?
There's a reason no one's doing this.
No, they haven't thought of it.
No.
Let's give them the 3rd.
Listen, people are really busy this week. I want to give them something of substance.
I'm giving them.
You're out of your mind.
Let's just get to 10.
Do you know it's Thanksgiving this week?
Okay, I'll go first. And the listener,
no,
you'll be 2.
Do you know that it's Thanksgiving this week?
That's next week.
No, the week that they are listening to this episode is Thanksgiving week. You got to
So they're not listening?
No, they are listening.
Oh, because they're driving.
Yeah, they're driving to
When does this come out?
Tuesday. It's the perfect episode.
So I'm driving right now.
Yes, you're driving all the way to New Jersey.
So when this comes out, will we already be in the car?
Yes.
10 a.m.?
When
the children have school.
We're leaving Tuesday night. So
I'm not driving yet.
Yes, you're driving.
They're driving.
Who's driving?
Doesn't this come out at like 10 a.m.?
Yeah.
Or 5 a.m. or something?
Some people might be leaving Wednesday.
So they're not driving. They already heard it at home.
Oh my God.
So let's just count at home.
No, I'm not counting.
I don't know why you don't want to play my games. They're such good games.
You just want to count for our listeners?
No, we're going to pause for them.
No, we're pausing. Okay, you said we're going to pause. But we're going to pause in gratitude this week.
What does
instead.
that mean?
We're going to talk about the things that we're grateful for. I want to take a minute this week and actually talk about the things that are important in our lives.
Oxygen.
That I want to pause and be grateful for. Because that is what this holiday represents to me.
Okay.
I wanted this episode to really be about reflection and the things that we've done this year and the things that we're grateful for this year. We've had a really, really busy year. I think this year we've spent a lot of time on health and thinking about people's health. And you have been focused on your health and well-being, mental health. And I think it's been really a positive, it's had a positive impact on our family. I do feel like these last few months have been challenging because we've been so busy and focused in different ways, but I do think that overall the benefit has been really, really good to us. My mom recently had a fall. She broke her wrist. Yeah. So I'm grateful that that's all that happened, that she just broke her wrist and she's fine
The truth
now.
is coming out about that, by the way.
What?
The fall story.
Yeah.
There may be a video that says it's a sham.
What?
Yep.
From who?
She was trying to break dance. I have it on good authority. She was so encouraged by the Olympic breakdancing that she was trying to break dance.
My mother.
Yes. And you know that move where you go on the side and you kick your legs out this way and you do that? That's what caused the
break.
Split in the wrist. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was a breakdancing incident.
Yeah. But she still broke her wrist.
Yes.
However it happened, she broke her wrist. So we've been dealing with...
She just thought that's what it meant to break dance.
Yeah.
She was so into it.
Yeah.
She thought you had to go till you break.
Oh.
I told her that's not the way it works.
Right.
So she's not going to do that anymore.
Okay.
She might break dance, but she won't break dance until she breaks something.
Got it.
Yeah, she really got screwed. 4 in the wrist. Yeah.
4 screws in her wrist.
Yeah.
But she's fine. And the other health stuff that we've got going on in our family and in our lives, it's all finding its way to a good place and good. We're finding balance. And I think it was a nice reminder that none of us are invincible and we all have to take good care of ourselves. We have to take care of our bodies and our minds and our people.
We had a good chat when I was talking to your mom about this.
Yeah.
And we said that she had a really good run. Like she hasn't been in a hospital for over a decade. Mm-hmm. And I think that's gratitude.
Yeah.
That way of seeing things.
Yeah.
You can get hurt. We all will get hurt.
Yeah.
We have been hurt, or you're listening right now hurt. Mm-hmm. But that will pass. eventually.
Yeah.
And then you reset. You know, like those companies, they have the signs up like 17 days without accident
Yeah.
at work.
Yeah.
So she had over 3,000 days, right?
Yeah.
Like almost 4,000 days of no
Accidents.
serious injury. Like that's a big win in and of itself. It's
Absolutely.
unreasonable to think you're not going to get hurt or you're
That's
not going to have things happen.
Life is
Yeah.
a series of ups and downs, right? And you don't actually
Like my song.
appreciate like your
Song.
what does that mean?
Whoa, whoa. It's a metaphor for life, that song.
Okay.
You get it?
Yeah.
Try singing it. You'll feel better.
The point is
You feel happier when you sing the highs.
Life is a series of ups and downs, and you actually don't appreciate the true joy of the highs if you don't also have the lows.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I'd like to test that theory.
You'd like to test the theory?
I think I'd be happy without the lows.
I agree with you. I think you would be happy without the lows, but the lows are inevitable.
Yes.
So you have to not focus so much on the lows and really focus on the highs. You know how when I tell you about like these experiences that I have when I'm singing in public, and you tell me you stay very like even keeled, very level.
Yeah, it's the drugs, you told me.
It's not drugs. But if I let myself go really, really high with the excitement, when I come off of that excitement, I get really, really sad.
That's also the drugs.
No, it's not
You should
drugs.
stop taking drugs before you perform.
Don't do drugs. There's no drugs involved. Do not do drugs. So we leave next week, Tuesday, today, to be with your family for Thanksgiving. We always do Thanksgiving with your folks. Sometimes my parents come as well, but that was one of the things that came up when I was like jotting down ideas for this episode. People really struggle with who to go to for the holidays. Like, oh, we're with your family one year, we're with my family one year, we're with so-and-so's family one year. You know, you kind of keep shifting, and families that have parents that are separated or divorced, and they have to split that too. And sometimes they want to do a friend's Thanksgiving. And
It's called a Friendsgiving.
yeah, it might be a Friendsgiving, or you might just want to do Thanksgiving with your friends.
This whole family drama thing fades over time. It's when there's new relationships where it comes up, because everyone like is trying to make sure their traditions don't get lost in the mix. Mm-hmm. And I think you're all so much better off when you recognize and accept that this is a new life, and you need to make your own traditions. And if that includes doing certain things with certain people, and at other times doing things with other people, you end up complicating it by creating tension in your own house. Yeah. And then if you're the family that's nagging your son or daughter or nephew or niece or whatever, to say, oh, you should come here, you always come here, why aren't you here? You're not helping the situation.
Okay, fair. But also maybe that person is really just speaking from the goodness of their heart, that they truly just want their family there for...
So say that. I would really like you to be here, not, oh, you did this last time, you're never here, you always do that.
But I don't think everybody does that. And
I think a lot of people listening are like, ooh, I am guilty of that emotional blackmail that I use on my family members. It's a tool that people use.
Absolutely.
Like, it's not,
Some people do that, but some people, like, I do think you're right, that these things are more tension-filled in the beginning of relationships and families and all of that, right? You're trying to navigate that. But if you don't move through those struggles, then how do you find a balance that everybody's comfortable with? Like if we always said every year for Christmas, it's really important for me to go and be with my family, so I'm going to go be with my family, and you never kind of pushed back and said, well, it's important for me to also be with my family, then where would we find that balance?
You don't need balance, you need happiness. So if happiness comes by way of always doing something, and within the core unit of the relationship, that makes sense. Then what I'm saying is it doesn't matter what the outside world says, even though it may not be what is quote unquote, acceptable or what other people think. If ultimately that is what brings your family unit joy, then you do that. Now, you could be in a relationship with somebody that's very aggressively pushing what they want to happen.
Yeah.
And if you conform with their desires and it makes you unhappy,
Yeah.
then you have to say something like, I don't
Yeah.
like doing this. But I don't think that's pushing. I don't think it's jockeying. I think all of those things you're better off without in a relationship. I think everyone should invite people and start from their core and say, for my core, this is what we like to do.
Yeah.
Like my sister in Thanksgiving. She's not coming here for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if there's nobody else in her house. She will do Thanksgiving in her house because for their family, for their core, it's a very important holiday.
Yeah.
Now, they would love to have more people there.
Yeah.
And they will invite more people.
Yeah.
But ultimately, if we said we can't go,
Yeah.
we're not going to say, hey, by the way, we're doing Thanksgiving here. You should come here instead.
Yeah.
It will just be, okay, we're doing it here. You're doing it there.
Yeah.
It's that pressure that people try to apply, which is well-intentioned, right? It would be a lot of fun. I miss you. I'd love to have you here.
Yeah.
But that oftentimes, because all of us have experienced it from the receiving side, is not a good feeling. It's like, place the invite and back off. Like, don't force people.
But in your sister's case, there's a
I'm not talking
reason,
about it. I'm saying for everyone.
I understand. No, but I'm just giving a little context here, right? In your sister's case, there's a reason that Thanksgiving is so valuable and so important to them because it represents a memory. It represents just our brother-in-law's desire to hold on to that tradition. And so we respect that, and we're not going to then turn around and say, oh, actually, we're hosting Thanksgiving here and we're going to invite those same people. If we want to go, we go. We enjoy being with the family during that time of the year, but that's not the case for Christmas, for example. During Christmas, we flip-flop. We say sometimes we're going to have people come to us. Sometimes we're going to go to my parents. Sometimes we're going to go to your family. And all of those things keep rotating, but it's not one person that says, well, Christmas is really, really, really important to me. And I understand that it's not as important to everybody else.
Someone could, right? I'm like, in our family, that's not the case, but there could be many families where Christmas is the only time that they always remember getting together at grandma and grandpa's house, and that's up the road. So they want everyone to come back.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, these kids are all grown up. They're adults. They're in own relationships. They're living somewhere else.
Yeah.
And now the person in their relationship is saying, like, I don't really want to go to your grandmother's house for Christmas.
Yeah.
And the person whose grandmother it is can say, no, we really have to go.
Yeah. What
I'm saying is, let people just do what makes sense for them. Like, don't give that, in my whatever, the girl whose grandmother, whose house it is, don't give her grief because she didn't come back this year.
Yeah.
Because her new boyfriend, she went to meet his family in Colorado for Christmas, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think that tension people add to scenarios doesn't benefit anyone.
It doesn't, you're right. But it also, I feel like those are growing pains. You have to go through those moments of, like, what if she's unhappy that she didn't get to go to grandma's house for the holiday? These things come with compromise.
How does that make it better by you calling her and telling her, oh, why aren't you here?
Okay, forget that. But you're saying it's about finding the joy in the relationship. Sometimes even the couple doesn't know what it is that's going to bring them the most joy. Sometimes flip-flopping is the thing that's going to bring them the most comfort and joy.
But they have to decide that. You can't say flip-flopping will bring us joy. You can't. Like, you have to look at the scenario every year and everything's different.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't do that. They say, oh, every odd year we're with this side of the family, every even year we're with this side of the family.
Yeah.
And then something happens at some point that's a once in a lifetime situation and you miss it because you're like, oh, I can't come. Why? Because my default is I have to be here at this time.
Yeah.
And that's silly to me.
Yeah.
I think people should recalibrate for whatever is in front of them.
Yeah.
And act accordingly and let people live. I'm not a big fan of going back to someone who missed something there's something to be said about saying, oh, I really missed you.
Yeah.
Like, that's clean.
Yeah.
There's something to be said about, you really should have made an effort to be there.
Yeah.
Your uncle kept saying how he hasn't seen you in 5 years and you never come.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not my problem.
Yeah,
I chose not to be here. That's uncle's problem. He's got to deal with that.
Those are the family dynamics and the family stresses that come with the holidays in a lot of instances, right? And you having this opinion, I think it's really healthy for you. And as our kids get older, I think that's going to serve us really well. But the truth of the matter is, you can't go and find Uncle Steve and say, hey, Uncle Steve, you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't behave like this.
No, I would never say that, is my point.
Yeah.
I don't do that. I try really hard not to do those things because it's not my place.
Yeah.
A lot of people take liberties in saying things to try and orchestrate an outcome that they're looking for.
Yeah.
And if you pause and realize that, one, you're not really entitled to do that, like live and let live, let other people make their decisions.
Yeah.
There's a higher level of respect
Yeah.
that you are then enunciating to your relationships, because you're not trying to manipulate an outcome.
Yeah.
And it also puts you in a situation where I think it betters your relationship, because no one has any feelings of,
I'm disappointing.
oh, I don't want to call. Yeah, I'm always, this person's disappointed.
I think
they're
at
this,
the end
they're
of the
that.
day, the what I keep trying to go back to, and I know that it's not always true or it's not always so clear. A lot of times you feel these things because people truly want you to be there, and it's a misrepresentation the way that they've come towards the situation, but it's really just it comes from a place of wanting you around, and I think that's what you have to remember.
That's hard.
Yeah.
When someone's guilting you.
Yes.
Like, it's the complete opposite
Yes.
of what you're saying.
Yes.
So it's not unusual for you. And if you're one of those people that does it, pause and think about how you communicate with your loved ones.
Yeah.
Because it would be a real shame if the reason you're failing in your attempts to get closer to them is exactly due to your the vibe you're setting with the way you're sharing your care.
Yeah.
Like, if you care about someone, say you care about them and I really missed you, and period. I hope you had a good time.
Yeah.
Not, why didn't you come next year, blah, 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 blah. The rest of that might make you feel better for 2 seconds, because you think, you're offloading these things of, oh, you somehow hurt me by not coming to my party.
Yeah.
But really what you're doing is pushing that person away.
Yeah. That's food for thought. The other thing that I find is really interesting during the holidays is you get to meet family members that you don't necessarily meet regularly through the year. And so you have these very awkward and uncomfortable conversations with, like, your crazy uncle.
Those are the best parts.
That's probably your favorite.
Yeah, I enjoy
part.
watching those.
Watching, but not having them.
I don't mind the
Do you
conversations.
think you're going to be like the crazy Uncle Steve?
I don't think we have a dynamic yet where it allows for it. Like, I think everyone who we see, I mean, different holidays are different things, but like this, for Thanksgiving, everyone we're going to see are people we're very close to.
Yes.
So there is none of that.
Yeah.
But if you imagine in a few years where the kids are older and like the cousins, everyone's getting older, and all of a sudden they are in relationships and they start, wanting to bring their friends. I think that's when it will change the dynamic. And by design, we'll be the uncle and aunts, right? At that point.
Yeah, so that's my
parents.
question. Do you think you're going to be like the crazy Uncle
I can
Jerry?
try. I don't know.
Do you want to be?
What does it require? I'm intrigued.
Like very eccentric behavior.
I'm too tired for that most of the time to be so eccentric. It requires a lot of energy. Okay. And there's a lot of energy when there's a lot of people.
I think you have potential, though.
No, but I fade. I prefer to be like that lamp in the back that no one's really looking at, but it's there.
I don't believe you, because I have a video of you dancing on the street in New York, like, just to make people laugh.
But that's with my kids.
Yes.
It's very different. There's no like, I'm not crazy Uncle Steve to my kids.
No.
So the closer my circle,
Yeah.
the more comfortable I feel. The broader my circle, the more I want to be, toe beige. I just want to sit in the back and watch it all and take it in.
Yeah. So
I don't
who's
wanna
going to be
part of
crazy
it.
Uncle Steve in our environment?
We don't need one.
Why not? Everybody
There's
has
enough.
one.
There's so many personalities.
Yes,
It passes around.
Yeah.
I'm not a loud voice in loud rooms.
Okay.
I can be a loud voice in quiet rooms, but it's generally rooms filled with people that are very close to me.
Yeah.
But you don't get this, like, that's not my personality.
Yeah.
I don't want to be center of attention.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who thrive on that. And that's not a negative or a positive.
No, it's
just
not.
valuable to know where people land on that threshold.
Yeah.
Like, you're more likely to be the center of attention in a room where we don't really know the people.
But that's not something that I seek out either. It's just because of what we do. It's just by design of what we've done and what we've built over the last few years.
No, even if we're in a room of, this is even before, but we're in a room or a dinner or something with new people,
Yeah.
you're more likely to make that effort to like go and have that conversation and make people feel more comfortable.
Okay.
Because you feel uncomfortable if you're like, or you care, actually. You're like, oh, this person's friend isn't talking to anyone. Let me go, you know, liven it up for them.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly happy sitting here being like, oh man, looks like that person's having a night.
That's so rude.
It's not my job to make their night good. Like, that's what I'm saying. You're more of the giver that way. You want to be like, oh, are you good? Here, you want my necklace? Take it. I'm like, oh, shouldn't have come, man. Should have gone to your own family's house. This party sucks. I have to be here. It's my wife. But you got suckered in. Don't come next year.
You're rude.
I won't say that. I'll think it. That's why it's good I don't drink, because I would say it then.
Yeah.
I'd be like, why are you here? But it's an honest
You know
question.
you are gonna be that crazy Uncle Steve.
No, I won't say
Guaranteed.
anything. I'm not gonna just like voice things.
As
in my
people
head.
get older, the filter goes.
No, I've been trained to not say the things in my head.
I'm pretty sure that 95% of our audience would disagree.
You have no idea. They know. If they really know me, they know
That
that
you're
I am
not
not saying 90% of what's 99%
But that's
of
my
what's
point.
coming
As
in
you
my
get
head.
older, that filter or that percentage lowers.
It's
You
not
know,
as
I
you get
saw an
older.
interview. I can't remember who it was, but it was a famous actor, and he must have been like in his 70s or like 80s, and in the middle of the interview, he just started farting. And the interviewer was really uncomfortable the first time he did it, and he's like, "Listen, you know, I'm X years old. I don't give a shit anymore."
You just did.
And he just kept farting the entire interview. He just kept farting.
I don't aspire to do that. But
No, I know
if
you
it
don't
happens,
aspire to do that, but I do think that there's this certain level of like not caring nearly as much as you do when you're a certain age or certain point. It just keeps lowering.
I think that's confidence.
Yes.
We should all aspire to fart on interviews. Because you shouldn't care.
You should.
Like, you should be comfortable in your skin, be
Yeah.
decent,
Yeah.
live your life the way you want to live your life,
Yeah.
and not worry so much about what other people will say or think.
Yeah.
So I do aspire in that way
To fart in an interview?
to be comfortable and, you know, not try to
But
play up
there's
a persona.
things that make other people uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
That's like if you started farting here, I would be really, really uncomfortable.
That's why I don't do it when you're here.
Is it?
Yes.
No, I don't think you're not doing it to protect me.
What am I
I
protecting?
think you're doing it to protect yourself.
From who?
From yourself, from the audience, from everything. Like that's just not a level that we've not even crossed that in our relationship.
Yeah, why are there certain things that everybody does, but that are things that you hide or do in private? Like, why is it that when you burp, you
Yeah.
say, excuse me,
Yeah.
but when you fart, you hide that? Why can't you say, excuse me? Why
We've
don't
been
you run to
together-
the kitchen when you burp?
We've been together a long time
Yeah.
and we do not fart.
Yeah, when she farts, she just like pretends it's the dog. I'm like, we don't have a dog. It's like, well, we should get one. You, what do you mean you? You do that.
You just get
Zara's
up and
the best.
leave.
Zara's just like, I don't know what that was. That was interesting.
But there are
Anyone
other
else hear
families.
that?
There are other families where the couple's like, they're like, here, pull my finger. They make it like
Whatever.
very, very normal.
But why is that?
I don't
What else
know.
is there like that?
Going to the bathroom. A lot of couples will they won't even talk about it. They're like, I need 15 minutes. And they don't go into each other's spaces. And then there are others that can have full conversations while the person is on the throne.
There's some people who will like be on the bathroom while the other one's like, so if you go to a hotel,
Yeah.
the bathroom, the shower, all is in the
Yeah.
same place. So they'll
Yeah.
both be in there at the same time.
Yeah.
So there's nothing there you haven't seen,
Yep.
but still there's a line.
Yeah.
So why is that?
I don't
Like, I have no desire to have a conversation with you while you're pooping.
I know. that.
But I
don't
have had
either.
conversations with you, but on the other side of the door. Like if
Yeah.
the door is closed, I'll have
Yeah.
a conversation with you.
Yeah.
Like it's not a secret to me that you're pooping.
Right.
Like I
Why
know
do I
that's
have
why.
to be the one pooping in this scenario?
Okay.
Can you be the
Sure,
pooper?
Sure.
Okay.
So what do you want? I'm sitting.
You're pooping.
Okay.
And I'm on the other side having a conversation with you.
Go ahead.
No, but you're
If
right.
you want me to carry the conversation, you have to be the one pooping.
I don't want to
Okay,
be
so
the
I'm sitting here. I'm minding my business. I'm
But-
reading a book. What do you
But
want?
we are the type to potentially have a conversation when the door is closed.
Yeah.
But when we're in a hotel room, like unless
We won't both go in the bathroom
it's
at the same
very
time.
rare. I think it's happened maybe a handful of times where we've been really, really pressed. Where
But
one
then
of
the
us,
shower curtain is the door.
yes, the shower curtain, and it's unlikely, and it's never happened that like I'm brushing my teeth and you're sitting on the
No.
pot. Never. Like we never can lock eyes.
No.
We just haven't crossed that line.
It's not a line to cross.
But yet we've
It's like
done
if you-
there's nobody that knows me better than you know me. There's nobody that has seen more of me. You've literally seen a baby come out of my body. So there's nothing that I have to hide from you.
Yeah.
But it's
Except your something magical about your food leaving your body that people just want to have on
but
their own.
why?
I don't know.
Like when our kids are little, we clean we change
Yeah.
their diapers and we like literally hold it with our hands.
Yeah.
But yet
I don't know if that's something that's cultural now, and in different cultures it doesn't matter as much.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Even I don't know. Let us know what you think. This is like interesting how, the line that you are willing to cross or not willing to
Yeah.
cross. So the other thing that I was thinking about is everybody has these fun traditions. And I really like where we've landed with our Thanksgiving traditions, which is like the burden doesn't fall on one person. It's everybody takes responsibility for one or two things. And then the kids participate. We pair up the kids with the adults and everybody takes responsibility for one item that ends up on the table and one child that they get to spend time with and cook with. So sometimes I'll end up cooking with a niece or I'll end up cooking with one of our children. And it's really cool to watch them take responsibility for that. And then they get to present it at the table at night. The other fun thing that we do is we have this group chat and everybody says what they want to eat.
That's what happens when you're vegetarian and you don't just take a turkey and throw it in a deep fryer.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah,
have
everyone
a
eats
traditional like...
I hope there's no turkey. Every time there's like someone or the other who like says, okay, I want to get this
fake turkey.
fake turkey from somewhere or the other.
Yeah.
But it's the least desired part.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like, oh, we have to have the... Did you just swallow a burp?
Maybe a little.
You're going to fart.
No, I'm not.
If you swallow a burp, you fart. It's known. It's like you just you sent it the other way.
Why did you have to call me out
'Cause you
on
went,
it?
"Hmm?" What is that noise?
Because I didn't want to burp on.
Did you fart?
No.
I heard it. Just sneeze if you're going to fart.
Okay.
And you'll take a screenshot.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a lot of food.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a problem with that.
No, I don't either. I love our Thanksgiving foods.
Yeah.
They're all of, and you get to know what each kid loves. And it's a really special, like I love getting those messages of like, so-and-so says, I love it when my aunt makes this, or I love it. Can you make this soup that you make? We have onion soup on our menu this year.
Yeah.
Onion soup for Thanksgiving. And I'm like, that's great.
Did one of the kids ask for it?
Yeah. Aria asked for me to make onion soup.
Oh.
Yeah.
Even she knows.
Even she knows what.
I thought it would be Jay or Zara.
No,
So
they
she
all
also
love the
likes
onion soup. Yeah. And then mom, she's coming from India and she hasn't had like a really fresh salad. Like she loves the salads when you come to the side.
It's so fresh over there.
It is, but it's different.
Yeah,
like
it's different.
You don't get arugula the same way. You don't get
Okay.
spinach the same way. It's a different quality of vegetable.
So she wants a North American
She wants
salad.
a North American salad. And, whoever it is that's making it for her knows that she hasn't had it in many, many months. And so they're excited to make it for her.
Yeah.
So I love that. I love that it's really in the spirit of giving. You're truly giving your love into that food.
Yeah.
You're putting all of your thought and your good wishes into that dish that you've created for that person who really, really
That's
wanted
nice.
to eat it.
Yeah.
So I love that. And then every year we go around and the kids will say, I made this because my auntie so-and-so said I really wanted to eat this, or my grandma said that she was really missing this. And vice versa. They'll, the grandparents will say they made this because one of the kids asked for it. This year we're having a bake-off.
What does that mean?
If it's 2 people make flan really well, like a vegetarian flan, and somebody asked for flan, but they wanted from both of those people.
Ooh.
So there's like a flan
Would
off.
there be a blind test?
Maybe we can
That
do a
could be
blind
fun.
test. I love that idea because
I'll
what
put it on my OnlyFans account. You have an OnlyFans?
I don't.
You should get one.
No thanks. I love that the burden of the cooking doesn't fall on one person, because I know that can get really, really stressful. Because in the past, I have been that person that has made all the food, and it's not fun. It's not fun to be responsible for all of the dishes and all of the timing. And I like it better when everybody's involved.
You know what seemed like a really fun Thanksgiving?
What?
That episode from Bear. That Thanksgiving episode.
Remind me.
The mom's cooking.
Where the mom was like freaking out.
Yeah, it was a great episode.
That was terrible.
That seemed like such a nice
She
Thanksgiving.
was yelling at everybody, and the kids were like,
There were timers everywhere.
yeah, like 1,000 timers, and the kids were just tiptoeing around her to make sure that she was okay. Like, that's just my worst nightmare.
Yeah.
I would hate watching one of my
Yeah,
parents.
I'd love to go watch that Thanksgiving.
It would give me
Just
heart
on the side.
palpitations. Like,
but
it
I wouldn't
did
want to
give
be
me.
close to the people. I would just want to watch and be like, yes, I have it good.
It would stress
I'm
me
grateful
out
for
so
not having
much
this family.
to have to watch one of my parents go through that and like have that role. I wouldn't want it at all for them. I don't like it.
Your mom didn't want to do it so bad she broke her wrist. Breakdancing.
My poor mom.
Just so she wouldn't have to do the
No, she doesn't
whole
do.
thing.
My mom is really good when she sees that there's other people around that like to cook more than she does. She's very good at saying like, I'm gonna go hang out with the kids.
She's like, I'll do the arugula.
Yeah. Just give me an onion and I'll cut it.
Yeah.
Now she can't even do that this
Yeah.
year.
I have to get her the one-handed chopper.
Yeah. So whatever you're doing this Thanksgiving, however you are celebrating, with whoever you are with whomever you are with, whomever
You are with.
Whomever.
With whomever you are with.
That was not English.
With whomever you are with.
Okay, we're gonna
whomever
rewind and
you
scratch
are with.
that.
3 W's.
However you're celebrating Thanksgiving and
Whomey.
whoever you are
Whomey with
celebrating,
who?
whoever you are celebrating with.
Is that with a K?
I hope you have a lovely holiday, and we are grateful for you, our listeners. We are grateful for this community that we've built.
Someone sent me a message on Instagram saying their number 1 listened to podcast was Sheena Interrupted.
That's amazing. Is it the
Yeah.
only podcast that they listen to?
I'm guessing so.
Well, we
But
are grateful
we're doing
for
this
you.
for you. You're the one of one.
No,
that has this as a
there's
number
more
1
than
podcast.
one. There is more than one
There's more
listener.
This podcast is not the number 1 podcast I listen to.
It's not?
No.
Wow. That's really
It's
sad.
not the number 1 podcast you listen to.
It is.
We don't even know what we're doing. Been at this for almost a year.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we're talking like as if we're therapists. We're not therapists.
No, we're not.
Sometimes we're hanging out.
Yeah.
We need to figure out what we're doing. I'd be grateful if we could figure out what we're doing with this podcast.
Okay. I would like to next year, my goal for next year is to start bringing in some guests
In here?
into
Where
our
would
podcast.
they sit? We don't even have a sofa.
We're going to have a sofa. By January, we will have a sofa.
So
I would
you
like
want to come sit on my sofa, lady, who listens
I would
to
like
this
to
podcast?
have some guests. They could zoom in.
Well, I
That's
can't
fine
have
too.
her be on it.
Who?
Our number 1 listener.
Why not?
Because then who will listen?
She will listen.
No, she was here live. She won't listen. She's like us.
Yeah, maybe.
She's like, I was already there. I don't have to listen to this. So sorry, anyone else who's not the number 1 listener, I should find her name.
You should.
You know what I'm certain of?
What?
She will hear and appreciate this.
100%.
Can you guys all send me photos of you being
Listening to the podcast?
like Madhura?
Is that her name?
No, I'm just calling her that.
Oh my God.
Yes, Madhura. Thank you.
Is it Madhura?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Madhura.
My top podcast, Sheena Interrupted, by Sheena Interrupted. I spent 1,276 minutes listening to it in 2024.
Wow. That's amazing.
1,276 minutes.
And episodes are generally like 40 minutes.
Divided by 60. So she's given us 21 and a half hours of her time listening to the podcast.
That's pretty amazing. Thank you.
21 hours. Hey, you haven't even listened to all the episodes. What is going on, Madura? Even my top person hasn't hit all the episodes.
It's about half of the episode.
You haven't heard the... Come on. Well, thank you guys for joining. This is the first and last year of Sheena Interrupted. It's going into the archives.
No, you know what I
Time
would
to
like?
retire the
You know
podcast.
what would make me grateful to get from you guys is a little feedback. Like, what do you want to hear more of? What kind of topics would you like us to cover in the new year?
Do we have to cover topics?
Yes. Do we have to cover topics? Would you like us to have guests? Would you like us to do shorter episodes, longer episodes? What are you looking for? All right. On that note, I'm going to sing you guys a little Thanksgiving blessing. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. That's really creepy.
What?
You're like mouthing the words and acting out.
Yeah, for those who are watching, I want to give them something to look at.
That's nice of you. Happy Thanksgiving. Have a wonderful week.